In this first video, we are going to show you how to reboot your Firestick. Now, it may seem trivial, right? But at the same time, I feel it's important to have a sort of guide that tells you multiple ways you can do it. Maybe your remote isn't working, so you can't do it one of the ways we show you. So we're going to show you a couple different ways of doing that right after this. Guys, here we go. So, there are a lot of cases where a simple reboot will fix your Amazon Firestick and make it work. Now, let's talk over a couple different ways that you can reboot your Amazon Firestick. So the first way, assuming that your remote control is working, would be through the interface itself. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we are on the home screen right now, and you can get there by hitting the little house button on your Firestick remote. Next, we're going to move over to the settings gear, which is clear over on this right hand side, and we're going to choose down to go into these gray tiles down here. Now, in your case, the tile you're going to be looking for in 99% of the cases is actually right here. I don't know why mine isn't there. Maybe it needs an update or something and it hasn't shuffled them around, but the one you're looking for is called My Fire TV. However, in your case, it'll probably be in that lower left-hand corner. So we're good, but doesn't matter, wherever it is, go ahead and click on the tile called My Fire TV. And then on the new menu, you're gonna go down and you're gonna choose Restart. Okay, once you restart the device, actually it's gonna just verify that you want to restart. We're gonna say yes. And then once you restart the device, you'll get this message saying it's powered off. You may even get a message from your TV that says there's no signal on that input anymore, like this, and that will go away. That just means the Firestick has powered itself off and is now going to start the sequence to power it back on. And so this is a very typical screen that you'll see, the Amazon screen as it's booting back up. And it only takes a couple minutes. So as this is booting up, when is the time to reboot? Guys, if things just aren't really working right, and one of the things, we have a lot of customers who use YouTube TV. We find it's a great solution. However, we'll find that there are times, weird little times, where every channel buffers, even though maybe your other ones are working just fine, or the internet seems to be working just fine in your house. We find that there's something that happens, either a buffer gets full, a cache gets filled up, something like that, that causes this to happen, and a simple reboot of the Firestick will fix it every single time. So chances are it may do it in a very important football game, which we always hope that's never the case, but in any case, you can see just a couple minutes and you're back up and running. Then you would simply go back in and choose your app again and go back to where you were. So that's option number one. Okay guys, so in this next video, I'm going to show you how to power cycle the Firestick by physically touching either the power cord itself or the actual Firestick. And I want to solve a little myth out there that we run into quite a bit. It seems maybe fairly obvious to some, but at the end of the day, it's not really obvious to everyone. And as a matter of fact, when I was first getting into this, I used to tell people to do this to reset their device, and it doesn't actually work. So we all learn, don't worry about your level of, this kind of stuff if you've ever done this before. However, the other way to reboot this device is to physically unplug the power to it. Now, sometimes this can be difficult. You have your TV mounted up high, you can't get to the actual device, maybe the power is also up high or whatever. So, the way we did it in the video with the remote is always your best choice. However, it's just one of those things where sometimes you actually have to power cycle these things the old-fashioned way, and we're going to show you how to do it. So, on my display right here, the Firestick is actually plugged in underneath. And so, I know it sounds simple, but you just unplug the power. Pull it out of the outlet and wait 10 seconds, and then plug it back in. Okay, if you have easy access to get to the outlet, that should be the easiest way to do it. That way you don't have to get behind the TV or finagle, getting your hand back there. That's probably the trickier of the two. Unless your TV swivels like this one does, then you can just pull it out, turn it so it's easy to get to, and you can do it a little easier that way. But the second way, which I'm not going to show you how to pull this out of an outlet and plug it back in. I wanted to let you know that is one way that you can do it. The other way is actually on the Fire Stick. And I am going to show you on this because there's a lot of people out there that think by pulling the Fire Stick out of the TV that this is actually rebooting it. But this doesn't do anything. This device is what's doing all the streaming, and it still has power. It's powered on the Fire Stick, and it's still plugged into the wall. This device is what you actually have to power cycle, and pulling it out of the TV doesn't do that. So in a case like this, you would need to pull looks like a little phone charger, right? Little micro USB here. You need to pull that out of the side of it and then plug it back in. Now this device has lost power, and it'll go through its boot sequence like we want it to. So let me get it plugged back in. Okay. And there you see the Amazon screen, knowing that that's exactly what happened. We've actually power cycled the device. And again, unplugging it from here also does the same thing. Now, rule of thumb is we tell our customers usually try to wait 10 seconds with it unplugged. And the reason for that is because there's little tiny, what's the capacitors that are in these devices, really tiny ones. And just waiting 10 seconds allows all the power to fully dissipate out of the device before plugging it back in. It's usually pretty quick, but at the end of the day, 10 seconds does make a difference, so that's what we recommend. And as you can see, we're booting back up, and we'll come right back to the home screen. Hopefully, once you're back at the home screen, you'll be able to use your remote again. But if by chance you can't, check out the video I have coming up in this series here as well that talks about what to do when your remote doesn't work anymore.